Hey guys, Happy New Year. I'm back with the journals of 2020, and these are the journals that I'm thinking about using this year. The ones over here are daily journals. The ones right here are line a day, Q&A a day ones, and then up here is just occasional use. Theme journals, autobiography type of stuff, prompt journal type stuff over here. So anyway, my current journals are these, and I've got kind of a handful going at the same time. I'm mostly using this one as my current main journal, and it's about halfway done. Oh, I'm like covering it, but there you go. So it's about halfway done, and I've been filling journals much slower this year. I think it was in 2018 I filled maybe, I want to say like 10 or something. It was kind of a lot, and this year I filled like way less than that, and I like that it's kind of going, like my journals are slower, and each of them kind of get to know me a little bit better, even though they're inanimate. It's just, I put more of my life in each journal, and I put more stuff that like has more meaning to me in them, and a lot of venting in them too, but still it's just, I don't feel as rushed through them, and I kind of like having multiple journals at the same time, so I don't feel like I have to hurry up and finish this one so I can use this other one or this one or whatever. So yeah, current main journal, and then this one I started last night as like another side journal. This one's an old, okay, these two are both old Barnes & Noble ones that they don't make anymore. This one's got deckled edges, which gets all over everything, but the leather smells amazing on this one. And then this one, this was one of the ones I'd always just lusted over in stores about 10 or 15 years ago. I'm pretty sure they've had this design for like 15 years. They stopped making it, and I saw one online last year from someone and bought it used. I mean, they just previously owned or whatever. And it's, I'm not sure if it's embossed or debossed. I can't remember what that's called. But it's got gilded edges and some gilding on the cover. It's just really pretty. And it doesn't lay flat all that amazingly. It's kind of thick, but it's got the fleur-de-lis or whatever you call it on each page. It's one of those. And I don't know, I liked when Barnes & Noble had the same designs in like at least some of their journals for years, like over a decade. You kind of felt like you're seeing old friends in the store when you'd see this design, and the green one with the fleur-de-lis on the cover, and the little small one that a lot of people have with the red rhinestone heart on it. And I just like seeing the same thing in part of their journal section for years, but they don't have most of those anymore, so I was glad to find this one online. This one's a new Barnes & Noble one, and it's a simple plain one with rainbow paper. This makes me so happy. It's got rainbow pages, and I'd always wanted a journal with rainbow paper. It didn't have pink paper, that's a holographic in cover that I put in, but paper is just red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and it's just really fun. It's a soft cover. I decorated the cover, and it just looks cool on the side. So this one's fun. I've used a handful of pages in this. This is kind of a current one too. This one I used mostly early 2019, and I'd wanted this design for years. It's a tree and sunset journal that they haven't made in like 5 years, so I've been looking for it ever since, and it's really pretty. It's one of the like 380 page thick Italian journals, and when I use these, I thin them out so that they stay open better and they're just not so over the top thick. If you find that these don't work for you, might you try doing that, just because they're less physically heavy when you thin them out a bit, and they lay flat better, and they're just so much more enjoyable. I can actually enjoy these when I thin them out a little bit. Some journals I like when they're thick, like I had a 600 page journal that I loved, but these just don't, like the soft cover like this does not work with 380 pages well, unless you really wear it in and use it for a really long time, or just work it in a lot, because it just doesn't lay flat and it's physically heavy, and I don't like them like they come, so I like to modify them a bit. But the leather's nice and the pages is nice. I mostly kind of just in like a writing slump earlier in the 2019, and then also the leather's worn off enough that it feels gross when you touch it, so if a journal feels gross to you, you're probably not going to use it much, and that's kind of ended up becoming the problem with this. It just keeps wearing off on the cover, and just kind of unfortunate, because it's a really pretty design. I want to find some kind of gloss coat, like a gloss leather coat for this, so I can touch it and it not bother me a little bit. but I still want to finish this one. I didn't really feel all that much of it, maybe a fifth of it or something. I just need to be able to touch it to be able to actually enjoy it and use it. And this VHS tape is a journal. This is a journal. This is like, that was over the top excited, but when I saw this, I got this last year when I got it in the mail. I'm like, I didn't order VHS tape. What the hell? It looks just like a VHS tape until you pick it up. The side even kind of looks like plastic if you're just not touching it, like if it's just in a box. And it's got the inner page like this. The paper has this on every page. And I took my childhood, I had some of my childhood VHS tapes left, and I got rid of most of those this year, but I kept maybe 10 of them or something, and I took some of the covers of them out, and I put this one in here. This journal comes with this, like with the same design, but my old childhood VHS tape actual cover fit inside this journal, so I just stuck that in here. And then I'm going to do that same with a few other VHS tapes I liked as a kid. So I'll have some journals that have my childhood VHS tapes. I can use those, like enjoy that childhood nostalgia in kind of a useful way, like with journals. But yeah, these are so realistic. Like, it's got the plastic and everything on the cover. And this is like plastic. It looks so realistic. They had a handful of years ago that, like, at the Lion King one and the Aladdin one, are not the thick ones like this. They're thinner and they're soft cover and they don't look as realistic in person. But this one, like when I opened the box last year, I really thought it was a VHS tape. I was really confused because I was like, I ordered a journal. I knew it was supposed to look like a VHS tape, but so yeah. Next up is this one, and this is one of the oldest journals that I have. I've been using this on and off for years. I've been using it as kind of a life summary journal for years. When I got into stuff wore off this, or maybe there's just stuff on it. Oh, that's great. Oh, it's stuff on it. Weird. Oh, nope, that's the design. Crap. I'd love the cover on it. Like, it had a plastic coating on it for years, and I finally took it off this year, and I should have left that on there. Because apparently it scratches up really kind of a lot, but it is really old. And anyway, when I bought this journal years ago, I was trying to get into journaling, and I used this journal maybe like 10 pages or something, and then kind of like that attempt to get into journaling didn't work. So I put this aside, found it a handful of years later or something, and then decided to use it, like write a page about my life every semester. So I've got years worth of summaries of my life. I decided to use this as a normal daily journal now. I wish the design wasn't like coming off. But I did like take it with me during travel, so it kind of, I didn't notice until now. Anyway, another childhood journal was this one that I used. My childhood friend and I got these journals from the Gap when we were kids, and we were going to have a play journal, so we wrote a few pages in here, like what we did when we were playing together as kids. Anyway, I took some of the pages out and put some rainbow paper in it from another journal and rebound the thing, and then decorated the cover. And this is another current journal I use whenever I'm like nostalgic or just feel like using a rainbow page journal. Then this one, I used the Fox one in 2018, and it was the first spiral journal I've ever filled, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted another one like it. And if you're trying to add washi and stuff into it, the spirals kind of get in the way. It's a little noisy when you use spirals, but I like the other one enough. It's a hardcover, and the design just, I don't know, amuses me. So I couldn't resist this one last year. This is another kind of occasional daily journal. And then this one I've had since I was a kid, and I used this maybe like 10 pages for some youth organization I was involved in. We would take notes and stuff, but then I guess we stopped taking notes because the rest of it's blank. So I decided to use this as an occasional daily journal also. And then this one, I got last year. I'd always wanted one of these. It was a I don't know, it's just plaid, but I keep seeing them around, or ones like it in different brands, just plaid with like colored edges. I'm probably gonna use this as a purse journal because I'm gonna start like taking my lunch to work some, even though I usually get fries, which is like $3, but I could make it cheaper if I just like sit in the car and bring my lunch, and then I could write and whatever. So anyway, I think I'm gonna do a purse journal also, which is, I realize I have a lot of journals going on, but it's nice to have different designs and different paper types available, and so each journal can like it can show more of my life instead of like using one journal and being like, okay, I can't use another one until I finish this one. That is limiting, and at the end of the day, journals are a tool for you to use, and they're kind of like a friend, so you can have multiple friends at the same time, or like multiple tools, and they can, like, the cumulative number of them can show your life, even if like this one doesn't have to show like every single day, like consecutive order. I could use this one and then this one. I like that, I feel more free to do that now. This one is a Piccadilly Medium Essential Journal, and they don't make this color anymore, but I found one last year. I'd used 2 of these in previous years, like 4 years ago or something, a long time ago, and the paper is a bit, like, a little gritty, but it's still nice. It's just kind of, I don't know, I think most people have used these by now, but I just like the color. This is a vintage Barnes & Noble one I got last year. And it reminds me of Blue's Clues or something, or just vintage, the 90s in general. I think it's just the colors that I like. The paper is kind of bleach white, which I usually avoid, but I like the cover. It's suede, but it's kind of textured suede, but just reminds me of, I'm not sure if it's a Blue's Clues or just some kind of another show. What does this remind you of? And then onto theme journals. So this one I was thinking about using this year, but I might not. I used this part of 2018 and then put it away, and then I finished it, that line, like, it's a 5-year journal with like 5 sets of lines on each page, so I finished that line from 2019, so it was like a solid year. So I might not actually use this one this year because I've got 3 others that I want to use as daily journals instead. So this one is a line a day one. This one's let's say Chronicle Books. Pretty sure it's Chronicle Books. I had their blue, it is Chronicle Books. I had their blue one, I think it was 2012 or something, 2013. And I like the idea of having like 5-year journals, or line a day journals. But sometimes when you're doing line a day plus daily journals, it just gets really duplicate. So I don't do these every year. I like to put them away and then occasionally fill in a year in something like this. And the line spacing is very small, like extremely, extremely small. I'd rather have had like 3 lines that you could, not have to write in like rice-sized text on there, but I guess you could just ignore the lines if you wanted. But yeah, I like the idea of looking back on different years in life. I like to like use it and then put it away for a few years and then use the same one again, so it's kind of more spaced out. And then this one, Q&A a day for college, and I'd been debating if I wanted to use this or not, but I started using it this semester because I'm finishing up a certificate program this month, and then I want to finish my original stupid degree from another school. So I'm trying to document, like, I don't really feel like I'm in college, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I wanted to like document some of the memories. Some of them, this is like, some of the questions in here are, have you been to a pre-game where what's one thing you loved at home you wish you brought to school? Some are like specific to the typical, 18, 20-year-old college kid, but some are kind of usable for other like adult learners also. There's some questions too that aren't really related to school at all. Like, the first thing you ate today was, write down the headline of a news story from the day. So it's got other stuff in here. So the ones that are super specific, I just write down like what I remember doing when I was young and went to college across the country and whatever, instead of this year, because I've like haven't lived at home and as an adult ever. So this one's a little bit not ideal for adult learners, but you can make it work. And then this one, Q&A for the day, Q&A a day for the soul, is a bit cheesy. That's a Potter House. I can't remember what they call themselves, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Are you on the lookout for good luck? If you can choose not to slay the dragon, how can you harness its power? Some of the questions are a bit much for me, but I wanted to use it since I did like some of the questions. Do you have a muse? What's the best way to transition from the outside world to your life at home? I think that's kind of like the typical routine with these types of line a day ones. Like, you'll like some of the questions, but not all. If you really don't like it, you could just scratch it out. What do you think about the statement, things happen for a reason? Let's see. Do you value your work? Are you a spiritual person? I just wanted some questions like that I usually wouldn't otherwise write about. So I'll probably just use these three as my three Q&A line a day daily journals, and then probably not use this one because that's like really getting to be a lot of them. And I'm like, these are small to write in, but I like how they look when you line them up. It's gonna be really hard to do with one hand. Death. Okay. I don't know, they just look cool on a shelf. I don't actually have a bookshelf, but like, if I did, I take that back. I think I do have one. It's just not put together. This one is the Me Journal questionnaire. It's a autobiography journal that just is the same size as those. And it's got a lot of variety in here. It's got multiple choice. Like, some are fun, and then some are deeper. Like, future inventions you hope for, gifts you would enjoy receiving. It's just got a variety of stuff. Some about your past, some about what you like to do. I actually really like this one. I wish there was a series of like about me books like this. It's just the lines are also small in this, and it looks nice. Like, it looks surprisingly nice for a cheap one. And it's got stuff like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is confidence to you in a life partner? Works of art you like, songs that turn you on, songs you use for your life soundtrack. It's a really small font, so if you're like trying to find an autobiography journal for like grandma or like an elderly person, I don't know that this one would be for you, just because it's really like small, kind of hard to write in, kind of hard to read, like even for me. Your list, songs whose lyrics you once misunderstood, things you never do, music favorites. It's just got a lot of variety. This is fun to fill out. And with these kind of things, I don't fill them out like every day, or I would say I don't fill them all at once, but back in 2012, I got on a kick of autobiography journals, and I would take like one of these and fill out like the entire book in a night. But usually I'll just, pick it up, write the date on the top of the page, fill out the page, and then put it away until the next time I, randomly feel like filling it out. I decided to do another one of these. I did one in 2012 or 2013, I can't remember. And they finally made this one have a matte cover and matte pages. It used to be glossy. I'm trying to hurry. I know I'm talking fast, but if you're not from the South, you might not notice. I was talking to like this elderly Southern woman once, and she was like, had me repeat what I was saying like 3 times because she couldn't understand what I was saying because I talk relatively fast, I guess. But yeah, this has some stuff about your past, your family, your fears, your beliefs. And it does have, I want to say it's got some questions about like sex and stuff and career. And it's got like, do you believe in God? Do you believe in your most spiritual moment? Do you practice this religion? What religion were you raised in? Do you have cheated? Yes or no? It's got some fun pages like that. Let's see if I can find one that it's not. Okay. Describe your first paying job. Describe your best paying job. I don't know. These take a long time to fill out, but I just fill them out whenever the mood strikes. These have been around since 1999, which I really wish I'd known and filled one out when I was a young teenager, even like 16 or something, when you're first getting into, deciding your views on politics and religion and everything. I mean, not that that's really your first time, but when you're really like trying to find yourself, this would be a cool thing to fill out around that time. Like early college and then do it again, 5 years later or something. Then this one, I don't really feel that much, but it's got, I don't know, I just like some of the designs. It's paperback, which I really don't like, because paperback doesn't last. Bucket list. If you could pack your bags right now and go somewhere, where would it be? I just like themed journals, so you can, think about stuff that you usually wouldn't randomly write about. Write in the clouds this is what you would have wanted people in your life to say if they didn't say the thing that you wanted to say, like let you down or didn't comfort you or whatever. And then some adjectives that describe you. That's kind of a profane page for being like, I have fucking leadership skills. Like, but yeah, this book is that's kind of the theme, is kind of adult humor, profanity. Not really adult humor, just it's kind of like profane humor. It doesn't really lay flat. It's a soft cover, so it's kind of like the downside. I don't think that'll hold up that well. This one's an older one. Lift Yourself by these people. And this one's been around for probably, I want to say this one's from the 90s, and they have 2 editions. They have one that's got a green cover, and then this is the second edition that I think was maybe early 2000s. It's just really old anyway. And list the people you love. List the nicest things anyone ever did for you. I don't use this one much. I have the other one too, the dark green one. And some are kind of new agey, like spiritual type of questions, but there's enough in them that I like. And I don't use them much, like maybe a few times a year or less. In recent years, less. But I like, some of them are kind of deeper thought. Let me see if I can find some. List how you feel when you've been lied to. List what you like to do when you're alone. So I'll just write the date. And list all the names of your past bosses. Oh yes, I started this one in 2012. Which is crazy that was 8 years ago. List all the times you got in trouble with the law. Some are really random. How about never? Those are my coworkers. List those restrictions from stop signs to gravity that you can't stand living with. Gravity is a bitch. Aging is a bitch. List all the places that you've made you feel immortal, moved to tears, or I can't even say that word. Omnipotent. List all the times you said yes when you wish you said no. So just got a variety of stuff. And list all occasions you spotted something unidentifiable in the sky. So 2012, I saw a shooting star or something last year. And list all mysterious things you've seen in the dark. And eventually I want a bookshelf with kind of my auto theme journals on one section, and then my current journals on another. Just kind of have them available, but it's just like a random occasional use thing. Right now I keep my journals, even my current journals, in a footlocker that locks, but I really eventually want a bookshelf that I can just put them all out on. And then this is such a long video already, but we're almost done. Okay, so these 3 are recent ones that Piccadilly put out in the past year or two. So there's 3,000 questions about me, 3,000 questions about my future, and then 3,000 would you rather questions. And they're all soft cover. And there's not really much writing space, so I thought about using these questions in normal journals, but I think I might just use them in these, because I like just being able to pick up a book and look at just random things I wrote about, like certain topics, like prompt topics. How do you resolve conflict? If you were going to write an essay about your life, what would your essay be called? Do you think there should be a salary cap for actors in movies? What's your favorite outfit? And then 3,000 questions about my future. What will be the trending hashtag 20 years from now? Pretty sure it'll be something other than hashtags by then. What food will become the newest health craze 20 years from now? I haven't filled these in yet, just because I kind of had a writing slump last year. 3,000 would you rather questions. Do you rather feel obsolete or oppressed? I'm gonna go with obsolete, because you can learn and adapt. Eat steak tartar or sashimi? I've never heard of either of those things. Penny for your thoughts or keep thoughts to yourself? I would take a penny for my thoughts. And then I'd have to pay because someone would have like need therapy for years. My grandma used to say penny for your thoughts and then she'd give me a penny. Let's see. 4-leaf clover or really old penny? Would you rather get too little sleep or too little to eat daily? So yeah, there's a pretty good variety in these. They're just soft cover, and I don't know that they'll really, I mean, they got a bit of cardboard in them. Like, they're not the softest cover, but I don't know that they'll really last all that well. It'd kind of be a good idea to laminate them, but I'm not really good at that kind of crap. Anyway. And then the last one is this ridiculous thing that I got last year. I'd always wanted one of these for years. And it's a My Life storybook. And it's got 100 pages, so if you live to 100, it's like a one set of pages a year. I haven't filled it out yet. Like, this is ridiculous. It's really hard to write in because it's so thick. And supposedly if you like fill it up, they'll give you a note if the company still exists, or if you still do beyond 100. I think this would be cool if you like to give to a kid and just fill it out their whole lives for them. But as much as like the idea of that is cool, if you I just think about like if you left this on the coffee table and you know something got spilled on it, and then like their entire life scrapbook is gone in one hurrah because it's all in one book. Like your whole life story is gone because you know accidentally left the book like on the coffee table. I'm trying to find a page. It's not labeled very. It's kind of hard to figure this book out. Okay, so it's got highlights of the year, and then you write, there's my toe. I love, I hate. Picture of me this year. I want to say it's like 4 pages per year. Then there's, spring. And then summer. Autumn. Winter. And then I think that's maybe it. Okay, so there's, a little bit more than 4 pages, but it's not 4 sets of pages, I guess. I don't know. I'm way too tired. I got straight in my family's house for 3 days, and I'm exhausted. My flights had like weather delays and cancellation. Well, weather delays that would have made me get stranded in another city, so I just stayed there. But yeah. Oh yeah, and then this has my little story by Sock UK. I can't believe that's really a company's name, but it's got about me, name, date of birth, all this kind of crap. And then you can like write if you have tattoos or piercings on that, countries you've been to. So there's some kind of other like long-term stuff in the front. 50 things to do before you die, so bucket list, education, awards and achievements, jobs. I can't remember if I filled some of this out. Okay, so yeah, there's like some of that in the front, but not a whole lot. But yeah, it's ridiculously thick. It's not what she said. But yeah, those are my theme journals that I rarely use, and then my line a day that those 3 I'm going to use every day, I think, and then some random daily journals. So let me know what you're going to use this year, and if you enjoyed this video, and I don't know, leave me a comment, say hello, death, yay, something, or all the above. Anyway, have a good night. Happy New Year. Bye.